So, like, were you like overprotective when you had your children, like making sure that, they can't go nowhere, they can't be around nobody? Like, were you
Yes.
like hovering over
Yes.
them and being like the overprotective mom? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you were? Okay.
Yes, I was. And they weren't allowed to stay at anyone's houses.
Right.
There's only one friends, they're married, and I'm really close with them, and those were that was the only place they ever stayed over, other than like my mom, of
Right.
course, my
Right.
mom's
Right.
house, or my grandmother. Though that was the only couple that they've ever stayed over, their house, that I trusted, that
Right.
I knew nothing was
Right.
going, but no friends, no nobody else, absolutely not, no slumber parties,
Right.
because as we both know, that's a lot of times where that stuff happens.
It is.
And then your children don't know how to share with you. And I was always asking them, like, did something happen to you? Like, did somebody do something to you? If they tell
Right.
you that they're going to hurt me, no one's going to hurt me. I always believe you. Um, if that's what you said, that's what you say. And I'll never think less of you. And they're like, oh, shit, leave me alone.
Right.
But I'm so serious. Like, I want to know
Yeah.
because, at that time, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know if it was normal. I didn't know I didn't know that that's not something that you do. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Right.
People say like, why didn't you say? 'Cause I didn't know it wasn't something. It was never like, don't tell anybody. It was made like it was something fun to do. And then,
Right.
when I was like 3 or whatever, like younger, I didn't. I remember it, but I don't remember conversations about it or what was said or anything. I just remember it happening to me, and a part of during that time in my childhood, um, a, I believe this, that because of the severity of it, like the dissociation happened. So there's a portion of my childhood that I unfortunately don't remember,
Right.
because of it. And I believe it was just God protecting me, because the abuse was so severe that he just protected me. And then so because of that, there's certain memories and things that I just don't have as a child, or I hear people talk about. There's things I do remember, but there's some things that I just don't remember. But or I'll remember like them walking me into the room or someone on top of me, things
Right.
like that. So
Right.
I'll
Right.
remember things like that, but I don't remember like when I was, really younger, the full extent. And
Right.
I will say I'm grateful to God
Right.
that I don't, because I do hear stories of people and they do remember to that extent. Now I was in middle school,
Right.
yes. But elementary and middle, yes. But when I was like a little younger, no. You know what I mean? I just
Right.
remember like the
Right.
certain instance, but not, you know what I mean? The
Right.
full.
Now, what gave you the strength to verbalize that to someone? How did you just come out and blurt that out about someone violating you? Like, what gave you that courage, or how did you come out with that?
Started, I've always been a writer,
Right.
and I've always loved to write. I actually love to read. That's what I didn't mention before. I love to read. I can read like 2 or 3 books at a time, and I
Wow.
wrote that down. So I really love to read. And be because of that abuse, I as a child I read a lot, because I absorbed myself in books because it was safe for me. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It was a safe place for me to read,
Right.
because I could leave that situation. I could leave that
Right.
environment,
Right.
and I could escape into something different.
Right.
And so to this day, I just love to read and I love to learn. But books were just my safe space. And writing, I
Right.
love to write.